You think I'm worried about what critics say or what people gotta say? You know who my dad is? They hated on him too. So it's like, it's almost normal. Without people hating, it's not normal for us. You think I'm...
Yo, YouTube, what's good with y'all, man? It's your boy Q. Back at y'all with another video, man. If y'all are new to the channel, please like, comment, share, subscribe. Y'all know the vibes, man. Thank you guys for checking out the channel. I greatly appreciate it. Now, I know I'm a little like I know I'm like 2-3 weeks late on this news. Not 3 weeks. I know I'm like a few weeks late on this news, you know. But Shedeur Sanders, man, we got to talk about Shedeur Sanders, the whole situation with him right now. As you guys probably all know, if you guys tuned into the draft, Shedeur Sanders was projected to be a top 5, top 10 pick in the NFL draft, you know, and he ended up going in the 5th round, you know.
We all didn't expect this, of course, but I feel like with God, anything possible, everything possible. I don't feel like this happened, you know, for no reason. All this is of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened. But we understand we're on the bigger and better things. Tomorrow's the day. We're going to be happy regardless. Legendary.
Which is very, very crazy to me. He ended up going to the 5th round to the Cleveland Browns after the Cleveland Browns had already picked the quarterback.
With the 94th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, the Cleveland Browns select Dillon Gabriel, quarterback, Oregon.
So Dillon Gabriel is going to Cleveland.
And Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round. So a lot of reports are coming out saying that Shedeur Sanders botched literally every interview that he had with
right, Linda to the left. There was a flip formation. Good.
You see this watch? You see this watch?
Yeah.
That watch costs more than your car. I made $970,000 last year. How much you make? You see, pal, that's who I am, and you're nothing.
I think one of the most known interviews that he botched was with the New York Giants. Brian Daboll didn't like how Shedeur carried himself, so he ended up taking Jackson Dart with the 25th pick in the draft instead of Shedeur. And I must say, man, when I found out that Shedeur Sanders was slipping in the draft, I couldn't believe it. You know, I do believe that the owners and the some of the NFL guys that are close to the draft he might have rubbed them the wrong way in a sense, and they kind of like maybe had like, you know, like a vendetta against them, and you know the way he carried himself, you know, as far as being Deion Sanders' son. I think all of that played a factor into Shedeur Sanders slipping in the draft. But I can't necessarily just put the blame solely on the NFL and the NFL insiders. I'd have to put some of the blame on Shedeur Sanders as well, because, excuse me, because you are the son of a Deion Sanders, so your dad already went through the draft process. He's already done that, so I feel like Deion Sanders, he should have put his son on game as far as when it comes to the way you talk to the people, him not wanting to work out at the combine for certain teams, him saying that he's not going to play for certain teams. I think all of that played a role in him falling. But the number one thing that I will say about Shedeur Sanders is that the talent is undeniable. You can't deny the man's talent, you know, and yeah, he might have had some weird interviews or whatever the case may be, but the guy can play football. Let's just not get that twisted, okay? You're talking about a guy that completed 70% of his passes behind one of the worst offensive lines I've ever seen in college football. You know, his only wide receiver being Travis Hunter, you know. Literally just like he said in his interviews, and I really do agree with him, man. He came from Jackson State University, changed that program around, then went to Colorado and gave them some relevance. I feel like that says a lot about the type of player that Shedeur is. I think, like I said, I think Shedeur Sanders is a good quarterback, but sometimes when it comes to getting drafted and being in the NFL, it takes more than just talent. You know what I'm saying? They want to see how you are mentally. You know what I mean? Do you bring that, that team first attitude, because no player is bigger than the team. They don't want nobody to have a mindset like that. And, you know, in the beginning of the season, before the season even started, I really did believe that Shedeur Sanders would have been the first.
Make a song. Let's drop one, Rich.
I play football.
Here we go.
Football. I play football.
You ain't got no hobbies outside of that?
I play football.
That's
That's
your
the only
only
thing I
hobby?
want people to know me as football players. When they search up Cam Wood, it say American football.
Quarterback off the board, but then we started seeing Cam Ward kind of separate himself from Shedeur Sanders, as far as being the top QB in the draft. And the rest was history, man. So you can't really use the black card in this situation because Cam Ward went number 1 overall. I got to seeing people say something about Shedeur Sanders wearing too many chains and too many blingage, and he's too flashy, and that kind of turns teams off a little bit, and deservedly so. I feel like some teams would be turned off by that, but if you're turned off by the bling, turn on the tape. You know what I'm saying? And the rest is history. But yeah, man. So now Shedeur Sanders kind of finds himself in a weird situation. He's in a QB room with Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, who's the other guy? Deshaun Watson. Dude's making like a shit ton of guaranteed money, but he's injured right now. I think he tore his Achilles or something like that. So, yeah, man. So essentially right now you got 5 quarterbacks in the room, and you got some young and you got some old. Got Kenny Pickett, like I said, Flacco, Gabriel, Shedeur. I'm not even going to count Watson right now. But with all that being said, man, I do believe that Shedeur Sanders has a great opportunity to kind of rewrite the ship in a sense, because he was the butt of all jokes, during draft night, getting prank called.
Hello?
You got that call.
Yo, what's going on?
Ready to go.
Say it one more time for me.
This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Ready to go.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man.
No, for sure.
We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
Yeah, yes, sir. Let's be legendary.
But you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Ready to go.
What does that mean?
What? What did he say?
I don't know.
How you going to ask us what it means and you was on the phone?
You heard that?
You said you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer. Sorry about that.
Why did he talk? What the fuck?
Hey, that's funny.
I don't know what that was. It's 50-50. But nobody got this number though.
It was private.
Did they just troll, bro?
It can't.
Man, he just got trolled, bro. They tripping now, fam. Now I'm gonna crash out, bro.
All types of shit. You know what I'm saying? And it was hard to see the man waiting till day 3 to be picked, because I do believe that he's way more talented than a 5th round pick. You got guys like Nathan Peterman going in the 4th round. You got guys like Kenny Pickett being picked in the 1st round of a draft. You mean to tell me that everything that Shedeur Sanders has accomplished in college football, you telling me he couldn't be a 2nd to a 3rd round pick at least? I'm not buying it. Okay? But now I feel like Shedeur Sanders has a great opportunity to kind of to win a starting job in Cleveland, Dylan Gabriel, I've been hearing some great things about him so far in rookie mini camp. But me personally, I don't think that Dylan Gabriel is an NFL quarterback, and I could be wrong about that, but that's just me. I watched a little bit of his tape when he was in Oklahoma, when he was in Oregon. I didn't see NFL talent. Okay, I could be wrong though, but I do believe that Shedeur Sanders is a better quarterback than Dylan Gabriel. Okay, I do believe that Joe Flacco is washed, but I do believe that, just to start the season off, I do believe that the starting quarterback for the Cleveland Browns is probably going to either be Kenny Pickett or Joe Flacco. I'm low-key leaning towards Joe Flacco right now because he knows Kevin Stefanski's system a little more. But I wouldn't be surprised, man, if Shedeur Sanders was starting by like week 7 of the NFL season. And I truly do expect him to play for the Cleveland Browns this season for sure. I just think that he's one of the most talented quarterbacks in the room right now as we speak. Okay, it's only been rookie mini camp, so we're gonna have to wait and see what else happens and how things transpire. But I do believe that Shedeur has a great opportunity to make a name for himself in Cleveland for sure. Now, as far as Deion Sanders, I don't know how that relationship pans out, but Deion Sanders has a lot of relationships in the league. I think most notably was the Tom Brady relationship.
I'm talking to him and understanding, okay, how to improve each week. He texts me after the game, don't be satisfied. Like, it was cool hearing from him, knowing he's still watching and stuff like that. But just working with him, it really helped me just understand, don't focus on the good things. We did that. That's night and day. We're going to do that regardless. Focus on the bad things. Focus on the things that we wasn't able to do at a high level. Improve that, then you got a full armor everywhere.
Tom Brady and Shedeur Sanders have trained together before. So it was really weird to see that the Oakland Raiders kind of the Vegas Raiders pass on him as well. So we're just going to have to see what he does, man. But it's never about how you start. It's really about how you finish. Like, you got to look at Cam Ward for an example, man. Cam Ward, coming out of high school, he was a 0-star recruit. He didn't get any big offers or anything like that. And he still ended up going number 1 overall in the draft. So the same thing can be done for Shedeur. I've seen plenty of 5th-round picks make it. You're talking about Stephon Diggs. You're Stephon Diggs of the world. You're talking about Puka Nacua. So it's not the end of the world that Shedeur Sanders got drafted in the 5th round. At least he got drafted. That's something that you can hang your hat on. It's not about where you go. It's about what you do when you get there. Okay, so Shedeur got to stay locked in. I don't want to see videos like the video we saw him asking Cam Ward to go make a fucking rap song. None of that bullshit. Okay, you need to stay locked the fuck in, my nigga, because there's a possibility that if you lose your starting spot or you lose your QB battle to Dylan Gabriel, because I think that's who he's really competing against at the moment is Dylan Gabriel. My nigga, you could see yourself in the Canadian Football League. Okay? So, Shedeur's got to lock in, man. He's got to lock in, bro. And I think he will. I think he understands the situation now. I think he understands that, the NFL, it's not all about talent. It's also about how you carry yourself, how leadership, all that. It's all that plays a factor, especially if you're playing the most important position on the fucking team. Those things matter. Leadership, humility, coachability, all of that stuff matters. Availability, all of that stuff matters, man. And so yeah, man, I'm interested to see what happens, man. This is gonna be one of the most interesting quarterback competitions I've seen in a long time, and I'm very happy that I'm able to cover it. So I'll be covering it, following it, and I'll let you guys know what's going on, man. But as of right now, I want to just say that I appreciate y'all for checking out the channel. You know what I'm saying? I've been rambling a lot, these past 2 minutes, and I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and go and enjoy y'all day. You know what I'm saying? But like, comment, share, subscribe, man. Y'all know the vibes. I'm going to check y'all out on the next video. Peace.